Hello, it's Chem Games and welcome to the Endless Runner tutorial series. In this series we are going to create a game like, for example, Subway Surfer. So yeah, let's get started. First you want to create a third-person template project. And when you have done that, we can continue. Now you want to go to the third-person folder and to the blueprints. And here we want to actually first go to the PP third-person character. And what we want to do here, we don't actually need any of this function. The jump we can leave there, but everything else we can actually remove. So let's do it like that. And also, now we can go to the game mode blueprint. Let's actually first compile and save, and let's take this and move it to here. So we have these both windows open here. Now let's go to the third person map and to the PP third person game mode. Let's actually rename that. Let's call it GM, like game mode, underscore endless runner. Yes, we can do that. Okay, now we want to check that we have this GM endless runner here, and everything else is correct also. Now what we want to do, we want to actually delete almost everything on this level. So let's get from here these folders, this block. Let's actually see what happens when we first we want to delete this block 01. So press delete, block 02, block 03, and this cylinder. Okay, and playground. Let's delete all of that. And also let's get from the SM jumper cube, and let's go to the down to the SM ramp 3, and let's keep the shift clicked and left click. So we select all of these, and now let's press select delete. So now we basically have this empty map. Let's also delete this third person template text. Now we can actually continue. So what we want to do, we want to actually first create a new blueprint class type actor. Let's call this pp underscore base underscore tile, or base tile. I don't know, base tile. It can be like that. So now that this is done, let's open it. What we want to do here, we want to actually first add a new component to here, and it should be plane. Okay. Now this plane, we have to change this scale, and actually location we don't have to change, but we have to change the location also. So first let's change the scale. So let's make the X scale 25, and also the my camera is too fast. 3. Now let's change the, actually I'm at the wrong side. Let's change the Y scale also to 6, for example. Okay. And yeah, now we want to change this location X to 1250, like that. Okay, now that it's done, we actually can create some simple materials for it. So let's compile and let's save all. Okay, now let's go back to the third person map. Let's create a new folder to here. Let's call this folder materials. Okay, now let's open it. Let's right click and create a new material. Let's call this first material road underscore mat. Let's open it. Now let's keep the 3 pressed on our keyboard and left click. Now we get this vector, constant 3 vector. Let's connect this pin from here to the base color. And actually we don't have to do anything else right now. If you want to change the road color, you can double click this and change it to whatever color you want. You can see here the color. But I will actually make it all black. Okay, now let's click this apply. And let's save. And let's close this. Now let's duplicate this road material and let's call it line underscore mat. Okay, let's open it. Now let's change this to whatever we want these middle lines of the road to be. So let's make them white, for example. Okay, now let's click Save. Apply. Actually, I think it applies when you save. Okay, so let's go back to the third-person map and we can close that line material. Now let's go to the PP base tile. And now here we want to select this plane and we want to go to here where it says materials and element 0. We want to change this material to road mat. Like that. Okay. What we want to do next is we want to duplicate this plane. So right click and duplicate. Let's call this line 1. Okay. Now let's make this Y scale. Let's make it 0.1. And let's not change anything else than the location set. Let's make it 1. Okay. Now let's select the line material, line underscore mat. Okay. Now you can see the line here, but now we have only two lines on the road, or like, yeah. So we want to change this Y location to -100. Okay. Now let's duplicate this line 1. It should be called line 2 as default. Now let's change this location Y to +100. Now we have 3 lanes on the road. Okay, let's compile and save. Now what we want to do next, we want to create the spawn point for the next tile, or next, this is basically the tile that we're spawning after each other. Yeah, so we want to mark the point where we will spawn it. So let's click this default scene route and let's click add and search for line, arrow. And let's move this arrow that we have here. Let's set the location X to 2500. It should be there at the correct position. And yeah. Next thing, let's rename this arrow to spawn underscore point, for example. Spawn point. Okay, let's compile and save. Now, what we can do here is we want to actually go back to the third-person map and to the blueprints folder. Now we want to go to the GM Endless Runner blueprint. Let's open it. And here, let's click the Open Full Blueprint Editor. And what we want to do here, we want to actually create a new function. So let's click this button here. Now we have a new function. Let's call it spawn tiles. Okay. And here, what we want to do next, we want to click this and add an input here. Let's call this input amount. Okay. And let's change the type to integer. Okay. Now let's get from the amount and press the minus button. So we get the subtract. Let's subtract 1 from it. Okay. After that, we want to call the function called for loop. This here, not the for each loop, this for loop. Okay. Now we want to connect this amount -1 to the last index. Okay. And we are minusing 1 from it because now if we are setting the amount to 1, it will actually be 2 because first index is 0 and the last index would be 1, so it's 0 and 1. So now basically it turns it to 1 to 1. Like, I cannot explain, but yeah. Now it turns that 1 is actually 1. So yeah. Now what we want to do here, we want to get from the loop body and we want to spawn actor from class. Now we want to select the class. It should be the tile. Let's search for tile. PP base tile. Okay. And now the spawn transform should be the... Actually, we don't have to set it yet. Or actually, we can do it. Let's split this spawn transform. Split struct spin. And from here, spawn transform location we want to get and promote to a variable. Okay. Get it to here and let's rename it. So let's click from here and F2. Let's call this next spawn point. Okay. Yeah. Now, what we want to do here is we want to actually go to the PP paste style. Okay. Now let's go to the event graph. Or actually, we didn't even have to go here right now, but yeah, we are here. Now let's go to the variables and let's create a new variable. Let's call the variable game mode underscore ref. Let's change the type. Let's search for gm underscore endless runner. So this one, actually I have a little error here on the name, but it doesn't matter. Let's get the object reference. So this blue one, like that. Let's compile and save. And actually I will quickly change the name. So okay, gm endless runner. So yeah, now let's go back to the gm endless runner blueprint. And what we want to do here, we want to get from the return value, actually we have to compile first, I think. And then we want to get from the return value and we want to set game mode ref, like this. And let's set it here. Let's connect this pin. And now from the game mode ref, we want to get self, get reference to self, like this. Okay. And let's move it actually here and let's add a reroute here. So let's double click it. And let's move this a little bit further. And let's move this to here. And actually, we can move this to here. So now it looks a little bit better. So now we can get from this return value, which is basically this a reroute node here. Let's get from here. Let's get the spawn point. Okay, now we're getting the point that we are at here on the BB paste style. So this arrow, we're getting it. Actually, let's select this and press Q so it aligns them. And now from the, we actually have to move this a little bit further down. And now from this spawn point, we want to get world location. Okay, like that. And from here, we want to get the next spawn point and we want to set it and connect this and connect this to the next spawn point, like that. Simple as that. Now let's compile and save all. And now what we want to do, we want to actually go to the event graph. Okay. And what we want to do here, we want to create a new event, add a event called begin play. And from the begin play, we want to get all actors of class. And we want to get the base tile, PP paste tile. And from here, we want to get a copy, and index is 0. Now we have to compile, and now we will have to, actually, we will have to go, we don't have to go anywhere. We have to promote this to a variable. So let's get from here and promote to a variable, like this. Let's connect this from here to this. Now let's rename this variable to base or base tile ref, like that. And let's move it over this next spawn point. So let's move it to here and release. Now it's the most top one. And now what we want to do here is we want to actually get from this base tile ref and set game mode ref as like before. Connect it here. Now let's get from here the self, get reference to self, like this. And also we want to get from here the spawn point, get spawn point. Let's add a reroute, double click, and let's move this to here. And let's select this and press, let's select this and press Q, like that. Now let's get the get world location. Actually, let's move this a little bit further down, like that, and also this 1, 2, like that. And now let's set the next spawn point also. Connect it to here, and like that. And after that, what we want to do, we want to get the spawn tiles function and connect it to here. And we want to select how many tiles we want to spawn on the start of the game. So let's, for example, let's make it 4, because now we have already 1 on the map, and if we set it to 4, so we have 5 when the game starts. Okay, so let's compile and save all. Now let's go to third person map, and let's actually get the PP paste tile. Yep. Now let's go to the details and set the location X to 0, Y to 0, and also the Z to 0. So it should be there. Now let's get the player start. So let's find our player start from the outliner here. Now let's set all these values to 0, like that. And actually, we don't want to set that last one. So I think the player start should be at 90, or I'm actually pretty sure that it's 90. I think it's 92. Let's see. Okay, let's set it to 92. And now let's also set the X location to 500. Okay. Yeah. Now let's save. And actually, let's save all. And now let's click from here and play as new editor window. Now when the game starts, actually we cannot see much because we hadn't added those controls yet. But yeah, let's actually change the position of the player camera. So let's go to the PP third person character and let's go to the viewport. And now here, let's click the camera and let's set the location set to 250. Actually, I want to set it to 200 now. And let's set the rotation Y to 20. Oh, sorry, minus 20. So let's see if that's better. Let's save, go back, and let's play. As you can see, we have all of these tiles spawned here. So we have, I don't know how many we have here, but if we go to the here and we set this to like 9, you can see the amount increase. So now we have even more of them. If we set it to the 1, now we should have 2 of them. So let's see. Yeah, you can see we have less of them. So the unlimited spawner thing is working. Only one thing we have to do. So when we move forward, that it spawns more of the tiles. So we don't run out of the road. So let's go to the PP base tile. And here, what we want to do, we want to go to the viewport and we want to click the default scene route and we want to add a box collision. Let's call this collision spawn underscore collision. Okay, let's change these scales to X is 1, Y is 10, and set, let's make it like 25. And also, let's set this set location to 800. So now it's there. And now also this X location to 2500. So it's there at the end of the platform, basically. Okay. Now, one more thing we want to do here is we want to actually duplicate this. And let's call this destroy collision. Okay. This will be the collision that when we overlap with it, it will destroy the tile before. So let's set this X value to 3500. So it's a little bit more further. Okay. Now let's compile and save all. Now let's go to the event graph. We can actually delete all of these things from here. And what we want to do here now, we want to select first the spawn collision and we want to scroll down. On component begin overlap. Let's click that. And now from here, from the other actor, we want to cast to third person character. Let's move this to here. And what we want to do now is we want to get the game mode ref, and we want to spawn tiles. Okay, let's connect this to here, and let's set this amount to 1. Okay. Now what we want to do, we want to go to the destroy collision, and we want to also on component begin overlap, like this. And from the other actor, we want to cast to third person character again, like this, and let's move this to here. After that, what we want to do, we want to just destroy actor, like this. Okay, let's click compile and save. So now when my Unreal is glitching, so I cannot see the platforms, but when we are here, it will spawn one more tile at the end, and when we are here, it will destroy the one before. So yeah, I think that was all for this video. If you like what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. On the next episode, we will add the functionality so the player will run and move to the right and to the left. So yeah, see you on the next one. Bye.